Okay, so we are still on the cost formulas. In this video, we are going to solve one more question, and then probably we'll just look at other standards, right? So let's solve one more question on the cost formulas, right? Still on the FIFO and the weighted average. This question is similar to the others we have solved, but this one has opening inventory, and then we have some margins and markups embedded in it, right? So it's like a combination of stuff, different areas that we have to look at, right? So this is a question. Let me split the screen so that we can solve and start solving. Good. So this is a question. Let me increase more so that we have a look at it. So it says the following purchases and sales were made by Pigu in 2023 by Pigu PLC. So we have the purchases here, bags and the cost price. We have the sales here, and we're told that there were, so let me start. So we're told that we have 50,000 bags of cement, right, in inventory at 1st December 2022, valued at 22 cedis per bag, and the entity makes profit margin of 20%. So this 50 bags is the opening inventory. Why is it opening? It is as at 1st December 2022, right? And these sales were given in 2023. These purchases and sales were in 2023. So if you compare, you realize that this 50,000 is the opening, right? And the first requirement is calculate the value of inventory as at 1st May 2023, 30th September 2023, and 31st December 2023 using the first in, first out, the FIFO. Then this is calculate the gross profits and the sales value for the period 31st December 2023. And this is using the weighted cost. Calculate the closing inventory at 31st December 2023 and prepare the extract of the financial statement, right? So the extract from the statement of profit or loss and the statement of financial position. Assume a markup of 30%, right? So this question is not difficult. It's not difficult, right? Not. So let me just zoom in small. Then we can do our stuff. So let's look at the first one, right? Let's calculate the value of inventory at 31st May, 30th September, 1st December using the first in what? First out, right? So let's do A first. So let me reduce the question now so that we can get more screen for our computation. Okay. So I hope this is visible enough here. It's visible. Let me zoom in small. Okay. Think we can all see. Let me stop drawing. Okay. So we cannot see this. Okay. So let's start with the Fifo method or the FIFO method. So let me write it up. We are using the first in, first out method. So as usual, I said we have so many ways of doing it, right? Okay, me have my way. You can also get your way. Just understand. So we have the dates, then details, then we can have the units, then we can have the price per unit. Okay, so let's say we have the price per unit, and then we have the total value or the total monetary value, right? Let me come here and see if this thing I've copied is still there. I know, Control Z. Okay, so let me come here and then let's copy the CD signs. Let me copy this and place it up there. Okay. So Control C here, and then Control V and Control V. Okay. So let's start. So if you check, come in here. If you come here, you would realize that we have the purchases. So first 20th January was the beginning. So January 20. So January 20, how many units did we purchase? We purchased 20,000 bags at 25 cedis per unit. Oh, sorry, the details is purchases. So let me add purchases. How many bags did we purchase? 20,000 bags. Okay, sorry. Even I made a mistake. Even before that, we had opening balance. Be very, very careful. The question gave us an opening balance here, right? This 50,000, we had 50,000 bags. So that should be the opening balance. In the previous ones, there were no opening balance, right? So January 1st, there should be opening balance, right? So we can say opening balance. We have 50,000. Price per unit is 22, right? If you come here, okay, we have 22 there. Okay, so that's the opening balance. Okay, 50,000 at 22 cities. And then that will give us a total value of 1,100,000. Okay, before we come to January 20. January 20, we had purchases. So purchases, how many units? We purchased 20,000 units at 25. So 20 at 25 will give us 500,000. Then we go to March 20. Now, if you come here, March 20, there we had both. You see, March 20, we had purchases. Okay, it's March 20. Okay, it's September. Okay, so March 20. Okay, we had purchases, so we had to go to March. It was before the May, right? Okay, so March 20, we had another purchases. Then how many bags? Also 20,000 bags at 25. Sorry, at 30. So match 20,000 bags at 30. And that should give us a figure of what? 600,000, right? Okay. Then the next is May. If you come here, May 20th. May 20th here, we had an issue. So we sold. May 20th, we sold how many units? 20 units. So May 20th, it was issue. So if you look at the other ones, I use cost of sales. But don't worry, let's be versatile. As somebody will say, right? We need to be versatile, like we don't have to be static. Right? So let me use issue here, the same thing. Now, how many units are we selling? We are selling 20,000. But if you look at it, so now before the issue, we purchased 50,000. We had opening balance of 50,000 units. We added 20,000 units, and we also added what? 20,000 units. Now we are selling 20,000 units. We have to sell the opening balance first. That's Fifo. We have to sell what we have with us first. What is inside first. So we have to sell from the opening balance. So the 20 should be from the opening balance. So the 20,000 that we are selling, it should be from the opening balance. And that is at 20 what? 2. Okay. So we're going to have 20 at 22. And that will give us 440 and 2, 3. Okay. 440, 1, 2, 3. Let's check something. Let's even check the balances we have after the issue. Okay. So it's like after the issue, what balances do we have after the issue? So let me underline after the issue, we are going to have, so let me underline this and this. So after the issue, how many bags are we going to have left? Okay, so the balance, so after the issue, we are going to have how many units left? So 50 plus 20 plus 20, 90 minus this. So we are going to have 70 units left. But they are different prices. Are you following? At different prices. So this one I said you can do it anyway. You can tend to have your balance and do it straightforward. But if you want to have a balance after the sale, then we are now going to have 30 units and 30,000 units at 22. Are you following? The reason is out of the 50, okay, out of the 50,000, we sold the 20 from it. So we are going to have 30,000 at 22. Then the 20,000 we've not sold any. So 20 at 30. And then that will give us, I think no, the 20 at 25 first. Okay, 20 at 25. Okay, this one. So 20 at 25 and then 20 at 30. So 20 at 25 first. And then that should give us 500,000. And then we have the same 20,000 at 30. And that will give us 600,000, right? Okay, so this will be the balance after the sale. We said we had opening balance of 50,000. Then we added 20,000. We also added 20,000. And in May, we sold 20,000. So we said, according to Fifo, we have to go and sell the 20,000 from this 50,000, leaving 30,000 at 22. This 20,000 at 25 and 20 at 30, we've not sold any from it yet. So that's why we have the same thing, 20 at 25 and then 20 at 30, right? So this will be the balance. Then I am sure that we had another purchase. So let's go to September. If you come here, September 20, we purchased. And September 22, we what? We sold. So which one do you treat first? Should we do the issue first before the purchase or the purchase before the issue? Well, it's the same thing. I think for the FIFO, the impact will be the same, right? But for the weighted average, probably the impact might be different. But, well, I will always treat the purchases first. Okay, so even though September 20 purchases, September 20 sales, I'll treat the top purchase first. Okay, so I'll just make it September 20. We had purchases. So I'm treating the purchases before the sales. So purchases, how many units did we purchase? September 20, we purchased 40,000 at 35. Purchase 40,000 at 35. And then that should give us a figure of 1,400,000, right? 1,400,000. Then there was an issue, the same September 20 issue, right? So September 20 we sold. So there was an issue. How many units did we sell? Yeah, we sold 20,000, right? That 20,000 that we are selling, we have to go and sell it from this figure. We have to go and sell it we have to sell it from the balance. Let's sell it from this balance, right? So if you come here, this balance here, if you come here, this balance, we have 30,000. The opening balance at 22, we have 30,000 units left with us, right? And we are selling 20, so we can still sell the 20,000 from this 30,000. Okay, don't forget we are using the Fifo. So we can sell the 20,000. So let's use brackets. So the 20,000, we are going to sell it from the one at 22 because we've still not finished selling the opening balance. We've not finished selling that one. So you have to sell the opening balance first before we move on to sell the rest that we purchased, right? So again, let's try our knowledge. After this, let's still get the balance. Let's try our knowledge again. What will be the balances left? So with the balances that we are going to have left, we are going to have 10,000, okay, at 22, because out of this 30,000, we sold the 20,000 from the 30, so we are going to have 10 at 22, right? So we're going to have 10 at 22, which gives us 220,000. Then for the rest, we've not sold any yet, so the next is 20,000 at 25, which will give us the 500,000. And then the next one is 20,000 at 30. At 30. And then that will give us 600 because the 20 at 30, we've not sold any yet. So that will give us 600,000. And then the 40 that we purchased, yes, that one too, we've not sold any yet. The 40,000 at 35, that one too, we've not sold. So it's also a balance. 40 at 35. 1,400,000. Right. So this will be our balance, or these are our balances. 10,000 at 22, 20 at 25, 20 at 30, and then 40 at 35. Okay, then let's continue. Okay. Let me try and add. Okay. Let me add more. Okay, so that we can use it. Okay. So that's it. So this is the balance after I issue. Then November, there was another issue. Okay. November, we had the issue before December we purchased. So November 20th, we had another issue. Okay, November 20th, we had another issue. And that one, how many units did we sell? November 20th, we sold 35 here. Right? We sold 35. So November 20th. Okay. So the 35 that we are selling, 35,000 that we are selling, we have to sell this 10,000 first. Right? They will come and sell this 20,000, making 30,000. Then the 5,000 will come and sell it from this what? 20,000. Are you following? So we'll sell all this 10,000. We'll sell all these 20, making 30. Then the 5 come and sell it from this 20. Are you following? That's how we're going to do. So we'll sell all these 10,000. Come and sell all these 20, making 30. Then we come and sell the 5 from this. Right? So the 35,000 that we are selling, we'll divide it. We'll sell 10,000 at 22. Right? Which will give us 220,000. and then we sell the next one, come and sell the 20,000, the 20 at 25, and that will give us 500,000. And then the remaining 5,000 will come and sell it from the next one. So the remaining 5,000 will come and sell it from the 30. So that one should be at 30. So the remaining 5,000 should be at 30, which should give us a figure of what? 150,123, right? So this is how the 30,000, sorry, this is how this 35, the 35 that we sold, right? That's how we are going to distribute the 35 that we sold. So this 35,000 that we sold here, they are going to do, they are going to sell 10,000, the opening balance. So by then we will be done selling all the opening balance, the 10,000. Then we'll proceed and sell the 20 at 25. So if you saw the 20, we've sold 30, then the 5 will come and sell from this 20, right? So that's the breakdown. Okay, then let's continue. Then December. Okay, let's get the balance after the sale. Let's try and get the balance after the sale. Okay, so let me underline. So how many units? So we had 10, we had 10, we had 20, we had 20, we had 40, but we sold 35. So how many units are left? We sold all this, we sold all this. Here we sold 5, so we left with 15. Then 15 plus this, okay, we got 55. Okay, so we have 55 units, but the breakdown will be different. So let's check the balance. So here, let me rename it. Let me name it balance. Okay, so here, let's get the balance. So the balance, we said we've sold all these 20 and 10,000. We've sold all these 20. And then out of these 20, we sold 5,000. So we left with 15,000. So we are going to have 15,000 at 30. And that will give us 450,000. And then we are going to have 40 at 35. 40 at 35. And that give us 1,400,000, if I'm right. Yes, it's supposed to be 1,400,000. That's 40,000 at 35. So this is a balance after our sale. Then December 20th, it was purchases, right? How many units did we purchase? We purchased 10,000 units at 33, and that will give us 330,123. So that's it. So let's sum everything and get our balance. Let's underline and get our balance. So our balance will be, so the balance, so we are going to have 15 plus this 55, 65. We're going to have 65 units, but there's a breakdown. Right, following? There are different prices. So balance, so we have the 15,000 at 30, which is the 450. And then the 40 at 35, which is 1,400,000. And then the 10 I will just purchase, the 10,000 we just purchase, so 10,000 at 33, and that will give us 330,123. right? So summing all, we have 65,000 units in all, right? But it has different prices. Okay, so we have 65,000 units as the closing units, and these are different prices. Here, you get 2,180,123. Okay, let me bring a comma. 2,180,000. Okay, so that is that. Okay, that is that. Now we are done with the stuff, right? So I hope you are scanning through, and if you identify any mistake, you correct yourself. Right. So the most important thing is you get the understanding, right? The important you get understanding. So we are done. Then let's continue. Let's go. So we are done with the A. Let's go and do the B. B saying we should calculate the gross profit. We should calculate the gross profit, right? Now, before we calculate the gross profit, let's get our cost of sales. Okay, let's get our cost of sales. So cost of sales, we have, so I think we are going to add all the issues, right? We have to add all the issues here. There's one here, 410. So there's one here, we have 440,000, right? So we have 440,000. Then where's another issue? Another 440,000. Then we have 220. We have 500, 150. And then that's all. So we are going to sum all the issues to get our cost of sales. Okay. So our cost of sales in May, let me do it per month. So in May, right, it was 440,000. Then September, okay, so the figures I'm adding here. September was 440,000, right? So it was also 440,000. And then November, we had like three. Okay. So November, we had like three. We had 220, and then plus the 500 plus the 150, right? So 220, 500, and 150. Summing all these ones we have to get 870. So we have 870,000. Okay. So we can sum all to get our cost of sales, right? So this will give us a cost of sales of 1,750,000. So this is our cost of sales, very simple. Okay. And I taught you another method. I said you can do it opening stock. So if you want to use the other method, okay, opening stock. So in this question, if you want to use the other method to get your cost of sales, okay, it's possible. So let's go and try that one. So let me write. So we said cost of sales. We start with opening stock. The opening stock, we had 50,000 bags. Are you following? Times 22, right? So 50,000 by 22, and that give us 1100,123, right? Then purchases. So we have opening stock. Then purchases. Just go to the question and add all the purchases. Okay. If you add all the purchases, you get 2,830,000. Okay, 2,830,000. Then we let the closing. The closing is what we just did. So into brackets. That one, the closing was 2,180,000. 2,180,000. Right? So that is it. Okay. And then you get the same answer. You get 1,750,123. Okay. So you can also use this method, opening stock, multiply the opening 50,000 by 22, then purchases. You go to the question and you go and sum all your purchases. So the purchases, the 500. Okay. So this 500 plus this 600 plus this 1,400,000 plus this 330. Just add all. You come and get total purchase of 2,830,000. Let's closing. Our closing was 2,180,000. You less it and you get this. So we have our cost of sales. Now let's go and do the B. So this question is a bit something, right? It's a very nice question. It's a very nice question. So let's go and do the B. So the B says we should compute the profit. Okay. So we should compute the gross profit and sales value. Now, what's our cost of sales? Our cost of sales, which is the same as cost price, is 1,750,000, right? Okay. Cost of sales 1,700,000. Now, from this cost of sales, we can get our profit. We are given, if you check this place, yeah, they were told that there's a margin of what? 22%. Sorry, margin of 20%. And we know margin is always calculated on what? Selling price, and markup is on what? Cost price. So this figure here, this 1,750,000 is the cost price. That's cost of sales. So we have to convert the margin, this 20%, to markup so that we can apply it on this, right? And changing margin to markup, if you have 20%, right? 20% is the same as 1/5, right? Which is the margin. So this is margin, right? So markup, if you remember, markup will be 1/4. So you less the top one from this 5, the 5, right? And you get 1/4. So markup is 1/4. So now to get a profit, it will be the 1/4 times the cost price, okay, by the 150,000 here. Are you following? And that will give us 437,500. 437,500. So the 1/4 by the 1,750,000, and then we get 437,500. So we have to change the margin to markup. Okay, we have to change the 1/5 or 1/5 to 1/4. The 1/5 is or the 20% is the margin. So you can also read this way, the same way. So 20% is 20 out of 100, right? So it will be the same as we said we less the 1 from what? The 5. So it will be 20 divided by 80. 20 divided by what? 80, right? So that's it. We've gotten the profit. Then you do the the sales. So the question is to compute the gross profit and what? The sales value. We've gotten the gross profit. So how do you get the sales value? How do you get selling price? If you remember, That's our class 1 formula. Selling price is equal to cost price plus profit. If you remember this, right? Selling price is equal to what? Cost price plus profit. So plus what? Profit. Remember this. So if you make, so to get our selling price, right, that is the sales volume or the sales value here, we have to add the cost price to the profit. So what's the cost price? 1,750,000. Our profit is what? 437,500, right? So to get the sales volume or the sales value, you add your cost price to the profit. So you add this one here to this profit here, and then you get a total value of 2,187,500. 2,187 what? 500. So we've gotten our gross profit. So these are the first requirement, our gross profit, 437,500, and our sales revenue or the sales value is 2,187,500, right? Equally, we can just apply, we can just do straightforward 100%. So we can do it 100. So just pick your calculator and do this. 100 divided by 80, 100 divided by 80 times the cost price times this 1,750,000. You get this figure straightforward. You get the 2,187,500 straightforward, right? Because you pick the 100% and then you deduct the margin from the down one, from the denominator. So you are going to have 100 divided by 80 times the 1,750,000, and you get the sales volume straightforward, right? Okay. So we are done with the B. We've gotten our gross profit and our sales value. And I'm saying the sales value, you can just punch 100 divided by 80, 100 divided by 80 times the cost price, the 1,750,000, and you get your 2,187,500 straightforward, right? Okay, so we've gotten the gross profit and the sales revenue. We've gotten the gross profit and the sales revenue. Let's look at the C. So the C is requiring us to use this, which is the weighted average to do it, right? So it means you have to go back and then you're going to do something else, right? You have to go back and do something else. So we have to go and use the weighted average. So let's go and do the weighted average. Okay. So the weighted average, it's like I have some template for the weighted average. I don't know if, okay. So you can just slot in. Okay, so let's continue. So with the weighted average, so this requirement C, we are doing the weighted average. So the weighted average. So let's slot in our things fast, and then we go. Okay. So we also have the same thing. We have our date. We have the details. We have the unit. We have the price per unit. Okay. So the price, this one, let me bring it down because it might not go. So let me see price per unit. Then I have my total value and I have the cost per unit. So this cost per unit, some say is the issue cost. You can name it anyhow. Just know that this is what we use to, let me say the issue cost. This is what we use to get the weighted average cost per unit. Okay. And we said to get that, we divide the total value of or the total cost, total value of the unit that we have, the total cost divided by what? The total unit, right? So let's start. So January 1st, we have opening balance. So Jan 1. So Jan 1, we have opening balance. So let's not forget that. So opening balance. Well, we can equally slot in our Ghana cedi signs. Right, so let me see if, as I've copied this to the Control V. Okay, so let me see if it's still there. Control V, okay, it's still there. Control V is still there. And then, also CV is also there. Okay, so let's wipe this one and bring it here. So Jan 1, what's the detail? It's opening balance. Okay, so that's our opening balance. How many units? So the same thing here. Okay, so we are in the same question. So opening balance, we had 50, right? We had 50,000. So opening balance, we had 50,000. Per unit price is 22. Multiply and we get 1,100,000. Then the next one is January 20th. We make another purchase. So January 20 purchases. How many units did we purchase? We purchased 20,000. At what price? At 25. 20,000 at 25. That will give us 500,000. Then March 20, another purchase. So March 20, we had another purchase. How many units did we purchase? We also purchased 20 units, 20,000, sorry, at 30, 20,000 at 30, and that will give us 600,000. Then May 20th, we did some issue, right? So May 20th, we sold. So immediately before we sell, we need to get the issue cost, right? Or the value that we have will attribute to the units that we are selling. Okay. So we immediately before the issue, we have to find the totals. Okay. So here 50 plus 40 and 50 plus 20 plus 20, we have 90,000. And then 1,100,000 plus 50, 500,000 plus 600,000 will give us 2,200,000, right? So when you come to this side, the issue cost here, when you come to this side, the issue cost, right? We said it will be this figure, right? The value 2,200,000 divided by the 90, right? And that will give us 24.44, right? So be punching along. If I make any mistake, you correct. We can have punching errors, right? So you just have to understand what we are doing, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so let me pick my calculator and confirm again. Okay, so 1100 plus my 500 plus my 600, right? Then I'll divide this by my 90. So I have 24.44. Okay, so that'll be the issue. So the May that we are selling, May, there's an issue. Okay, issue or cost of sales. And then how many did we sell in May? We sold 20. So here all the 20 will be at an amount, will be at 24.44, right? And then that should give us 20 at 24.44, which is 488,800, right? Okay, so we'll be punching along. Okay, so here's 4. So it's supposed to give us 488,800, right? Okay. Then September 20, there was another purchase. So September 20 purchases, right? So this September 20, this one purchases, and it was at 35. So September 20, we purchased 40 at 35. And that will give us 1,400,000. Then the same September 20th, there's an issue of what, 20,000. So immediately before the issue, we need to get the issue price. Okay, I mean that we have to get the cost per unit that we will attribute to the quantity that we are selling. So immediately before the issue, let's get our quantities that we have. So we name this one as balance. Can we name this one as balance? Okay, and here too, let's get our balance. Okay, so the balance, we had 90, but we sold 20, we are left with 70, then we added 40. So we left with 110,000, right? Then here 220, 2,200,000 minus 448,800, and then plus one plus this 1,400,000. So this minus this plus this, what do we have? We have 311,200. Okay, so you just have to confirm some of the answers. Just do the working. The most important thing is you understand. So we divide this figure by this to get the issue price here, right? And then I have 28.28. Okay. Then this is a balance. So let's go and do our September issue. So the September issue, how many did we sell? September, we sold this one. So we sold 20,000. So we sold 20. No, this was issue. And then we sold 20,000 at, and that'll be 28.28. Then that should give us nine eight 800. Am I even right? Okay, so 800. Okay, then December 20th. No, okay, so we'll go to November first. Okay, November there was an issue, right? So even before the issue, we can try and get um the issue price. So let's underline here and here. So what quantities will be left here? Where we are going to have 90,000 left, and then subtracting this one, we are going to get 254,600. Okay, so hope 254, 254, another 554,600. So this one that I have 254, 600. So dividing this by this will give us the same 28 points. I have 24. Okay. It should have been something like 28.2. It should be the same, but because of the points, because we've not yet purchased. So you can even decide not to compute the issue price, but it's the same thing, right? So November 20th. So November, we had another issue. And then the issue, how many units did we sell? November 20th, we sold 35. 35. So 35,000. Then we said we are using either the 28.28 or 28.24, whichever way you do it. Okay, the roundings, and then that should give us okay, sorry, I made a mistake here. The September the 20 at this, yeah, this figure here, sorry, this figure is rather 5, so it's rather 565 600. Okay, it's 565 600. Okay, so let me punch and confirm again. Let me punch my calculator and confirm. So 20,000 times 28.28. Yes, it's 565 600. Okay. Then when you subtract it, when you get the 254 600. So it's this one rather, that will give us the 989 800. 800. Okay. And then December, let me see if I can add something to this. And then December, we did the purchases. So December 20, we had purchases. And then how many did we purchase? We purchased 10,000 at 33. So this year, purchased 10,000 at 33. And then that will give us 330,000. So getting our total balance So 90 minus 35. So 90 minus 35 plus 10. So this 100. So here, if you minus 35, should give you 65. So that's 65,000 units. And then here, 2,545,600 minus this plus this should give us a figure of approximately 1,885,800. Right? 800. So this is our closing inventory. Okay. These are closing inventory. Okay, so we can just say balance. Okay, so you just have to make sure everything is right. You scan through. Okay, so that's that. I'm just scanning my eyes through to ensure everything is right. Okay, so that is that. That is that. So we've gotten the stuff. Then our next one will be we need to compute cost of sales. We have to compute the cost of sales, and then so if you look at requirement C, it says we have to. So we've gotten the closing balance and prepare the extract. This time they've given us a markup. So as we've been doing, so my cost of sales, I'm just going to add these figures, the cost of sales or the issues with this one, and then we have to be this one and this one. I'm just going to add them, or you can use the other method to get the same answer. So my cost of sales, so cost of sales, I'll just sum May 20th, I have 800, and then September 20, I have 565, 600, and then November 20, I have 989, 800. I sum all, and I have 2,044,200. 2,044,200. If you don't get the exact thing, it should be something closer. 2,044,200. So these are cost of sales. You can use the opening stock, add purchases and stuff. And the next requirement is we are to prepare our extract. So we need to get our profit. Okay. And this figure is the cost, this figure, this 2,044,200 is the cost price, right? So how do we get the profit? So we can get the profit. So our profit, if you check the question here, if you come to this side, you see we've been given a markup of 30% markup. And you see, markup can be applied on what? Markup is applied on cost, right? So this time we don't have to change the markup to margin. In the previous example, we've been given margin. We change it to markup because we are using cost. Here we are using cost and we are giving markup. Markup is on cost, so we don't have to change again. So that'll be the 30%, which is 3 out of what? 10. So 30% times what's our cost of sales? 2,044,200. 2,044,200. 200. So if you multiply this, you should get a figure of 613260. So this is a profit. Then our extract. So let's do our extract, which is like almost the same thing we've been doing, right? So our extract, we have to bring our selling price or our sales. So we have to bring our sales revenue, and then our selling price will be the cost price plus profit. That'll be the selling price. So 2044 200 plus 613 260, right? So I've added the cost price or the cost of sales plus the profit, and I'll get 2657460. So 2657460. So this is my sales revenue. Then my cost of sales, the same figure, 2044200. We less cost of sales, right? And then we get the profit. You come and get the profit back again. The 613260, right? The 613260. So this is it. That's all. Just know that the markup will be applied on the cost price, right? So that is that. I hope this was helpful. So with the weighted average, I said you can do your own stuff, okay? You can do your own thing. You can do it your own way. You can bring the balance to any side that you want. You have so many presentations. Just make sure your answers are the same, right? So that's all about inventory. We've solved almost all these questions. We are not done. Along the line, we'll be solving advanced questions on what? Inventory, especially ICG past questions and ACC past questions. And we'll be trying them, right? But for now, I think we've done enough. So we'll look at other standards, right? So if you like the video, please, you can share with your friends. And then if you have any suggestion, then you can let me have it in the comment section, right? So I'll see you in other videos.